Welcome back, nerds and news hunters. Today I have a mage poison build for you guys. This build is about placing ailments on the enemies and especially on the boss to get him down. And it is a very fun build. I think it's something different, and it will take you through plus 3, 4, 5 veteran dungeons at least once you learn how to master this. And one thing that's very important for when you're playing the mage, you can see we're starting up an expedition here. While you're playing the mage, you must at all times avoid getting hit by anything, right? Because you're basically gonna get one shot, and this is just how it is playing the mage. The higher you go into the dungeons, so it's all about practice. And as you can see here, we are running with poison modification on annihilation, and we're using the frost nova to stun the enemies, and we're using fireballs to get the fire buff, and we're using lightning to get a lightning buff as well. You can see we got all three buffs here on at the moment, and then we have a chance of placing those ailments on the enemies as well, like burn and shock, and also poison. So it's able to do something like a 2k ticks on the boss. We are able to place 20 stacks of ailments on the boss, so it's working out okay, and I really think it's a fun build and worth a try. At least it's something different for now that you can work with. And yeah, well, let's get more into details of what gear and spells we're using and everything. So I'll just see you back in town. So first off, let's take a quick look here at the stats. You can see we got points in ferocity and points in wisdom as well, and we are using crit. You can see we got 28.5 crit chance, and also for placing our ailments we're using wisdom. As you can see, we have a 42.3% chance of applying poison, and we got a 38.6% chance to apply curse, so it will spread to other targets as well. And you can see here 42.3 poison and the poison damage, and we are able to place 20 stacks, so it can add up to quite a lot of damage, right guys? Time to take a look at the gear here, guys. We're running with this dagger edict, and it is granting us a lot of poison ailment damage and poison chance score as well, and giving us the ability to place poison as an ailment on the targets. So this is a dagger that you really need that you're going to need, is required for this build. And the other pieces of gear here focus on getting force shield and getting anything that could give you damage, like ferocity. You can see I'm running with a catalyst here that gives spell damage and spell casting speed and critical hit damage, and ferocity in a gem, right? So everything that you can get with ferocity. Wisdom is also good because of the chest that we're wearing, but get a belt like this, the catalytic strap, because it always will give you spell damage, and anything else that you could benefit from, really, you're going to need. And as you can see here, a lot of force shield and force shield regeneration rate. This is what is going to keep you alive. And also when we're picking up health globes, it's going to affect our force shield and heal up our force shield first. This chest is the most important piece almost for this build. It's buffing up your ailment damage up to 100%. So it's really crucial when you're running with ailments. And another glove here with wisdom, force shield, and ferocity to give a little bit of damage to us, and another ring here with lightning damage and frost damage added to spells, occult damage, and a gem slot. Running with thirst as an amulet here, 52% spell damage. Well, we don't mind losing health because we're focused on force shield, right? So this amulet is perfect for this build. Now, force shield again, and casting speed, and a lot of other stuff here that can help us. Ferocity, bringing up our damage a bit. Getting force shield regeneration is really good, so keep that in mind. If you can get this up, it will regen really fast and help you to stay alive. If you take like 1 or 2 hits, So yeah, this is the gear that we're using, and again, thirst and agony and edict are the 3 important pieces for this gear here, for this build. Sorry, and also a good heirloom, a good catalyst to make it work. Okay, now to the skills that we are using. Annihilation here, and we are converting ether damage into toxic damage, and using the increased damage modification as well, and grants a second beam. Onto Winter's Grasp, increased area of effect. Winter's Grasp, cast in a circle around the cursor, so you can actually put the cursor on the boss and just freeze it, right? Gives you a buff that deals additional damage based on the element of the skill. So it's a frost modification, frost buff. Consuming embers, increased damage, adds 1 extra projectile, and gives a buff for fire, right? So this is our fire buff. We got frost buff, fire buff, and then we also got a lightning buff here. Increased damage at another bounce, and gives us the lightning buff here as well. And here on the last skill is really important, ether jump. This is so important to actually be able to stay alive. Extra length on the teleport, and casting ability removes all crowd control effects. We're also going to apply stasis to enemies. That was the second modifier here, and you can cast it multiple times, so you can just keep jumping. This is very important to stay alive as a mage, so keep this in mind, and you really need to use this. Passive skill tree. Let's take a look here, guys. Let's build it together. Now, we're going to start up here in the scholar section with spell damage and occult ailment chance and 50% ailment chance score. Getting some max willpower and rage, and range of picking up health gloves, a 25% recharge on the force shield. Moving our way here into the assassin nodes, picking up some critical hit chance here, and then moving to the other side, we have to get the material damage here, and the 75% poison stack duration, and poison ailment damage, and 50% physical into toxic damage, right? This will buff up our toxic damage, which is what we want. Getting here some force shield and ferocity, moving our way up in the crit section here, grabbing up some crits to get them sweet crits going, and this will also affect our ailments, right? So now we're going to move into the cavalist section to get some extra damage for the ailments here, and extra duration as well. Yes, here's 75% stack duration, and then we are going to pick up some extra max stacks here, so we can place even more on the targets now, and getting the damage over time generated with crit hits as well. So it's very important because we have a lot of crit, and if we crit, then the ailments will keep critting, and we are able to place 20 stacks of those, and that will be just a lot of damage going on. So here at the end, I just want to show you guys the boss fight as well, so you can see the damage that we are actually doing here. And this is +3 with all modifiers on, so you can easily go higher than this, right? just avoid everything on the boss and then place all your ailments onto the boss, and it will start taking off. You can see it takes like 700, 1600 damage going on right now, and yeah, just work with it, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun for you, and I'll just see you in my next build guide. I'm actually making another build guide at the moment, so I think within probably a couple of days or maybe later today actually I am possibly ready with that build as well. So and remember, if you want even more guides and stick around, then subscribe to my channel, and I will just see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.